Are you kidding me, Toronto? You have all this talent. You get past the first round for the first time since 2004, and this is what you do next? You lose to the Florida Panthers in absolutely horrifying fashion? I thought this team had turned a new leaf after their series win against Tampa. I said that once they win one series, they'll know how to do it. Sadly, I think I was wrong. Instead, they decided to turn back the time machine to 2021. You remember that 4-3 loss to Montreal in the bubble? An absolutely terrible team who barely made the playoffs? You remember the core not showing up for that entire series? Well, how about we do that again? In fact, let's do that so well that the core will show up for the first round and literally nowhere else. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish they lost to Tampa in 7. I expected absolutely nothing from them in the first round because I knew they were going to blow it. And Tampa was the better team for the entire time, yet somehow Toronto still won. Now, when they've supposedly exercised their demons when all of their biggest rivals are out of the playoffs, they still find a way to manage to lose. This was the year you had to go far. You made all those deadline trades and made everyone shit their pants, and this is what happened? And you can't even blame Dubas because the deadline acquisitions and Matthew Nyes have done literally everything for them in the postseason. Look at the points from the core against Tampa. Seems fine, right? Now look at them against Florida after game 3. What the f***, Toronto? This is your $50 million offense, which got you 0 goals? This is unbelievable. Why do I cheer for this team? Riley, Nyes, and Samsonov were unironically your best players in these playoffs, and 2 of them got injured. How you couldn't overcome this when Joseph Wall played his heart out and the team survived without Nyes all season? I don't know. Of course, you had to get our hopes up in game 4 and 5-2. Thanks for that. Really appreciated that. Could have been studying for my chemistry test. Instead, I was watching the stupid overtime. Sheldon Keefe. Why do you keep putting in Justin Hall? Just saying, why do you keep putting him in? That breakaway in game 3, oh, that was so great. Also, why the f does your team always lose to the worst teams in the league? Like, I knew this was gonna happen. Look at the regular season. Every time they played a good team, I predicted them to win. And every time they played a team that they should have crushed, I predicted them to lose. And the sad thing was, I was always right. At this point, I'm starting to think it's time for a rebuild. You won't have room to bring in Nylander, despite him being one of your best playoff performers, and Matthews is probably going to walk in free agency after all this repeated failure. Marner and Tavares only have 2 years left, and what's to say they won't leave to get a cup? Players are pretty good at leaving the Leafs and getting a Stanley Cup, just saying. What's to say Dubas doesn't walk too? There are plenty of teams that want him as a GM. What's to say Keefe won't join him? They've gone everywhere together. The Shoutout plan has all been but a failure, and you're staring into the face of a rebuild. Your year to get off this ship is now. You might have won a first-round series, but that wasn't enough. It was like you were never there. Enjoy the golf course, everyone. I hear Florida might have some good ones.